Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I want to talk about Black women teach each other self-hate. Black women teach themselves how to hate themselves, and particularly their own brand of beauty. This is something that Black women typically project off to Black men and say that it's Black men that don't like Black women in their natural state of beauty, and they really project it off that it's the men's fault why Black women feel insecure about their natural hair and natural faces and things of that nature. And so that's why the weave thing and the wig thing is a thing. But I want you guys to listen to a clip. I'm probably going to run it twice because it is very short. And I want you to listen to what this woman says. This seems like it comes from some type of show or something like that. I don't know exactly where this clip comes from, but I want you to listen carefully to what this woman is talking about. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's take a listen.
Let's do it.
Wow, so that is completely stuck to your edges.
Is it?
Completely stuck. I'm gonna leave this hanging here for a minute. Looking at you like this, really honestly.
I feel ugly.
It makes you feel ugly? But what would bring that on?
A lot of it has to do with times when I would wear my natural hair. My mom and my sister would make fun of me.
What do you mean make fun of you?
Like if I would go out with my my curly hair, they would, why are you wearing your hair like that? Like you need to do something with your hair. My mom would say, you're going out with your hair like that? And I didn't feel pretty, being called names and stuff like that. So let's do it.
Wow, so that is completely stuck to your edges.
Is it?
Completely stuck. I'm gonna leave this hanging here for a minute. Looking at you like this, really honestly.
I feel ugly.
It makes you feel ugly? But what would bring that on?
A lot of it has to do with times when I would wear my natural hair. My mom and my sister would make fun of me.
What do you mean make fun of you?
Like if I would go out with my my curly hair, they would, why are you wearing your hair like that? Like you need to do something with your hair. My mom would say, you're going out with your hair like that? And I didn't feel pretty, being called names and stuff like that. So
Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing this. Now, you heard what the young lady had to say. She didn't say her father and her brothers made fun of her. She didn't say the boys at school made fun of her. She didn't say the boys in the neighborhood made fun of her. In point of fact, she didn't name any males at all in any position that made fun of her or talked about her or told her that she wasn't pretty with her natural hair. She actually said it was her mom and her sisters, because that's who teaches that our natural hair is not good enough. How many mothers perm their baby's hair before the child is even able to make a decision about what they want to do with their hair? It's the mothers that decide that her natural hair is unruly, it is unkempt, it is unmanageable, and a lot of times out of selfishness and laziness and an insecurity of her own, the mother's insecurity, she projected onto the child. The mother doesn't feel beautiful as she is. So she automatically assumes that the little girl is not going to feel beautiful as she is either. And so she's going to have to, head that off at the pass. So the young lady saying that when she would wear her natural hair out, it was her mother and sister that would laugh at her and say, well, you wearing your hair like that? Were you going out like that? As if to say her natural curls, her natural hair, however which way she was wearing it, was not beautiful, it was not good enough, and that she was ugly with it. When you are a child, when you are a little girl, it is your mother's job to instill in you a sense of self esteem, to give you a basis for your self esteem, to boost your self esteem, your self value, and to give you a good sense of self worth by validating who you are. And in this case, validating your beauty as a little girl. So, what you do is you comb your little girl's head as it is, you dress her nicely, and you tell her that she's pretty as she is. And she doesn't need a perm, and she doesn't need a wig, and she don't need weave, and she don't need none of that stuff to be beautiful. And a lot of times Black women will project that onto Black men because it is their own insecurity that they mama taught them. Just like they mama be teaching them colorism, they mama be teaching them that their hair is not pretty, they mother be teaching them that their beauty is not beauty. It's the mothers that be teaching that a feminine girl, she'll get a naturally feminine little girl, a little girl that's just naturally feminine, and she'll ridicule and shame her out of that and tell her that it's weak and that she shouldn't do that. So she feels ugly without the wig because of what her mother and sister saying. And like I said, oftentimes Black women will blame Black men for not liking or finding their Black woman's natural beauty to be attractive. But it's their mama that told them that it was ugly, not the men. See, by the time she get grown and hear some guy tell her he don't like her natural hair, see, that seed was already planted by her mama. Because if it hadn't been, and she would grew up with a sense of self-pride and self-worth, one or two men's comments about whether or not she's pretty with her natural hair would not create an insecurity or a self-doubt. It would be like, okay, well, whatever. I know I'm fly with my afro or with my curls or with my braid or with my whatever, twist out or bantu knots or whatever she got in her hair. Because when you secure with yourself, you're secure with yourself. But when you're insecure, anybody's critique, anybody's disapproval, anybody's lack of validation greatly affect you. Because you've been going your whole life not having your beauty validated by the one woman that actually should validate it. So your daddy quicker to tell you that you're pretty. Your daddy gonna tell you that you're pretty. And then my baby don't need all that other stuff. My baby pretty. I got a pretty little girl. It's your mama that go behind his back and perm your hair. I've heard those arguments between a father and a mother. What you do that to that baby hair for? I don't want my daughter hair like that. She was fine the way it was. Little girl hair be like this, natural. And because mama don't want to, you know what I'm saying, do it every day and all that kind of stuff, she find it easy to perm it. And it's manageable. By whose standards? So it's really the Black women that create the insecurity and the self-doubt, which later turns into self-hate and self-loathing. She actually carries that into adulthood. And this is why the weave conversation in the Black neighborhood, in the Black community, is a conversation, because that pathology exists almost exclusively with Black women, to the exclusion of other demographics of women that will wear hair pieces, wigs, or weaves, or what have you. Other demographics of women are not being taught self-hate. And that is the reason why they wear wigs and stuff like that. Black women, on the other hand, are being taught, typically by their mothers, that their natural state of beauty is not pretty enough. And women want to be pretty. Little girls want to be pretty. Women want to be pretty because we know part of our value intrinsically is in our beauty and how our beauty is perceived. Because beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. But at the same time, you have to feel beautiful so that you can project the confidence in yourself. But the mother stripped that from a little girl early on before she can even truly develop it. So she grows up with this lingering insecurity, which makes her lean on the crutch of the wig and the weaves and the super makeup and all of these other things that's supposed to make her pretty that actually detract away from her beauty rather than add to it. So this is how you get into covering herself completely up, doing makeup that completely changes her face, hair that's completely different from what her hair is, putting on things, shapers and this and that completely transform the look of her body because she's not comfortable with it. These are the same women that sit around and talk about self-love. You have to have self-acceptance before you have self-love, beloved. You have to have self-acceptance first, as you are. So this is why the wig conversation is valid, because there is a pathology connected to it in the Black community among Black women that we have to discuss. So it's not just a mere, oh, it's just hair and, I don't know why it's a big conversation. It is a valid conversation that needs to be had, because a lot of Black women are running around here with self-hatred aimed at specifically their beauty and their Black features and their Black hair. So I just simply wanted to offer my perspective on that. Everybody jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.